Hey, it's John. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to take the answers that you receive from surveying your target market and turning them into valuable marketing material that will connect with your audience. Now, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and download the exercise that accompanies this video so you can follow along as I walk you through the answers of the 6 different questions you asked your audience. Now, in this video, we're going to take a look at some of the examples of the 6 questions used to survey your audience. We're going to uncover some possible answers that the market may have given, that they had in their own mind in various different industries, just to give you an example. And I'm going to show you how to turn these answers into marketing material so you can market things your audience actually has a need and a want for. This way you eliminate the guesswork and wasted efforts that most entrepreneurs go through when they're creating any kind of business or product. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually walk you through these questions right now and discuss some of the possible answers and create marketing material. Okay, so let's get right into question number 1. If you recall, question number 1 was, what is the single biggest fear you have when it comes to blank? Now remember, the word biggest focuses on one thing, while fear is a very powerful emotion that drives most human behavior. This question helps uncover the real motivation and identifies why they aren't taking action. Now let's take a look at a couple of examples. Maybe you're a massage therapist, so your question may be, what's the biggest fear you have when it comes to getting a massage or visiting a massage therapist? Now, some of the answers that might get sent in or people may indicate would be things like they're embarrassed about their body, or they're not sure of the real health benefits. Now, these are really important to know. Maybe they're not sure if insurance will cover the treatment. Well, if a massage therapist took the top one, embarrassed about their body, as the most obvious, clear fear that people have, that would mean that they now have a clear vision of how to resolve that. They now have to think about it. Okay, how can I make sure that I resolved embarrassment about their body when I'm thinking about my practice in terms of the service that I offer? That's a really different problem, that not, completely different than, about the health benefits, because that's completely health benefits is completely an educational answer or knowledge problem, as opposed to the body being an experience problem. Then, not sure if insurance will cover the treatment. Again, that's a very practical question, but completely different than about dealing with, I'm embarrassed to go to the massage therapist because I'm overweight. Well, that may be a real issue that massage therapists have to overcome. And asking this question really gets to the root of some of the problems that are keeping people away from actually becoming a client to a massage therapist. Another example, so what if you're selling a training program that teaches coaches and consultants to confidently sell their clients on high-ticket coaching by following a proven system? Okay, so your question may be, what is the single biggest fear you have when it comes to selling a $10,000 a day coaching program? So answers from this survey could include not knowing where to begin or how to create a coaching program, don't know how to deliver a coaching program, I've never coached before, I don't have the confidence to deliver or sell a $10,000 a day coaching program. Now, in your message, you want to make sure that you address and overcome the answers they wrote about in their fears. So if I were to market my training program for coaches to deliver high-ticket coaching to coaches, then maybe my attraction marketing message would be something like this. Get in on the system that's proven to show you how to deliver $10,000 a day coaching with confidence, even if you're brand new to coaching and have never coached before. You can see that from the message that it addressed the majority of fears that were brought up by the target audience in the survey. Okay, so that's an example of creating a marketing message for the answers in question number 1. Okay, so let's take a look at the answers for question number 2. So question number 2, if you remember, is, what is the single biggest frustration you have when it comes to blank? Now, don't forget, the word frustration leads people to think about very emotional things and what really sets them off. So, for example, what's the single biggest frustration when it comes to dealing with a lawyer? Well, some of the answers that they might get would be, I don't understand what the charges are for. Or maybe the lawyer doesn't explain the process of what to expect. Or they always say I can win whether I have a good case or not. And it's a big expense and a waste of money. If those are the frustrations that you get back as a lawyer doing the survey, you know at least you understand the contacts that you've got to deal with. If those are the frustrations that you get back from the survey, if you're a lawyer surveying your clients, you at least understand the issues that you need to deal with. Because what you do from this is you could use those frustrations and plug them into your marketing messages. So for example, maybe the lawyer is going to create this headline from their marketing message. It goes like this. They're going to send it to their target market. And it asks the question, are you tired of being told that you're going to win whether you have a good case or not? Now, if that was one of the big drivers, then the headline would immediately go to the target market and resonate with them, because those are the frustrations that they're actually known. Now, another example, going back to our client who is selling a training program to teach coaches and consultants to sell high-ticket coaching, the question would be phrased like this. What is the single biggest frustration you have when it comes to selling a $10,000 a day coaching program? So some of the answers that come in would be attracting prospects, or closing the deal, or not knowing what to say, or I hate selling. So what if the message in your marketing material went something like this? You will learn how to structure your message to attract prospects, receive an instant message script that has been generating 6 figures worth of business by connecting with prospects and getting them to book a meeting in 5 minutes, plus 2 consultation scripts to use during your consultation calls that guides your prospect to buy into your high-ticket coaching session. Now, as you can see in this message, that we addressed the majority of the frustrations that were brought up by the target audience in the survey. All right, so let's get into question number 3. What's happening as a result of this problem or frustration? So don't forget, your goal here is to lead them to recognize their pain, fear, or frustration and negative implications, so they connect their emotions with the problem or frustration that they're experiencing. So let's take a look at a business consultant as an example. A business consultant asks the question, what's happening as a result of lower sales? As an example, let's assume that's the problem. That here is this consultant is focusing on how to increase sales. The responses they would get would be things like, my business will fail, or I won't be able to take holidays, or I'll have to lay off staff, or I'm going to go into debt. They hear some of the painful frustrations and negative implications that the market is going to have if they don't get this fixed. And again, this becomes very powerful messaging and wording when they go back to the market and start talking to them. So in your marketing message, you can start saying things about having this problem by telling a little story. It goes something like this. I was there once myself. I used to not have enough sales in my business. The worst part about that was I was never able to take holidays because I had to keep working to try to make the money. And it got to a point where I actually had to lay some of my staff members off, which was the worst day of my life. I started to wonder if my business was actually going to fail as a result of this. I realized that I had to get my sales figures increasing quickly, and that's what led me to the solution. And you would go on from the story from there. Hopefully you can see why these answers are so critical. And we're going to be using them as we move forward in the packaging and promotion of your product and your service. Now, another example, going back to our client who's selling training program to teach coaches and consultants a system to sell high-ticket coaching. It may be phrased very similar to the last example. Now, what is happening as a result of not selling any of your high-ticket training programs? Now, the answer could include things like not making enough money, you're stuck in your business, may have to get a regular job, you're going deeper in debt, you're burning through your savings. So you can use those elements when writing copy to sell your specific program, just as in the example of our you can use those examples when writing copy to sell your specific program, just as in the example of our coach selling their high training or you can use those elements when writing copy to sell your specific program, just as in the example of our coach selling their training for selling high ticket coaching. So here's a sample of the copy. Has your coaching business stalled? Are you burning through your savings, getting deeper in debt, and ready to give up and get a regular job? Are you not making money you want from your coaching business? During the 2-day intensive program, you'll be guided step by step through the process to capture, connect, and close on $10,000 a day coaching clients with confidence, even if you're brand new to coaching and have never coached before. Again, we're using the answers from the target market survey to connect with the audience and show them that we understand what they're going through and that we have a solution that can really help them. Okay, so moving on to question number 4. What have you tried so far that hasn't worked? Don't forget, in most cases, they've probably tried things already that haven't worked, so knowing what they've tried and where they are will help you create messages that will connect better with your ideal target market. So let's take a weight loss consultant as an example. If they ask this question, what have you tried so far that hasn't worked? They get answers like, I've been on every diet and nothing's worked. I've tried hypnotherapy and I've got no results. I've done starvation as a last resort, but I gained all the weight back. I've been taking ABC diet pill, but it made me very edgy. Now we would hear all those things that they've tried so far so that we could come at them from an angle that they didn't assume or think that we have an offer that was something that they've already tried and didn't work. We'd be able to craft their message in a way that it just didn't sound like everything else that they've tried. So you could use the answers given from the survey in a short copy, in a story copy that would go something like this. If you're like me, you've probably tried every fad weight loss diet program that comes out, from taking pills to hypnotherapy and even starvation. Nothing has managed to work. And in fact, you've actually gained weight over the years you've been trying to lose weight. Some of the problems are that you're starving your body and you're putting it in a fight mode. And there's very little scientific research behind any of the fad diets. None of them know how your body is currently functioning, what foods work well and what foods don't work well. In fact, it's very different for every single person on the planet, just like your DNA. A simple cheek swab will get you the answers no fad diet, dietitian, or personal trainer will ever be able to figure out and tell you. Now, if we look at another example, let's use our client who's selling a training program to teach coaches and consultants a system to sell high-ticket coaching. What have they tried to get coaching clients before that hasn't worked? So the answers might be they've attended networking meetings, or they posted on various social media, or they've done cold calling coaches, for example. So what we want to do is we want to convert the answers into a marketing message. So here's a sample of what you could do. Are you struggling to attract qualified clients? Do you waste a lot of time at local networking meetings or on social media trying to find someone to talk to? I can relate. As a proud introvert, I hate networking, so I had to discover how to get the prospects to contact me wanting my help. As soon as I made these few changes to my message, my calendar was full of meetings and I was closing $10,000 a day coaching clients each and every week. I never had to try to convince another person. All right, so that is an example of question number 4. So moving on to question number 5. If you recall, the question was, if you had a magic wand, what would the ideal solution be for you? Now, the idea of the genie is great because it removes all the obstacles, the objections, and limitations people put on themselves as to why they can't do it or can't achieve their desired outcome. It takes away the three biggest obstacles people usually have, which are time, money, and effort. You also want it to be on the lookout for outrageous solutions, so you aren't trying to sell an unrealistic solution to people. Let's take a look at an example of this in the relationship field. Let's say you're somebody who's a counselor to people who are having trouble with their relationships. So if you ask the magic wand question, then you probably get answers like this. I'm excited. I want to be excited and passionate about my spouse. That's what an ideal solution is for them. I always want to feel understood and listened to. I want to feel more in love every single day. I want to have my spouse be my best friend. Again, think about this from the perspective of your marketing, because when you go to the marketplace, for you to be able to use the language in your marketing and your promotion, it's very powerful. To use these survey answers in your marketing material, it could look something like this. Imagine being excited and passionate about your spouse again. How would it feel to always know that you're understood and listened to, and your spouse truly is your best friend, and even feel like you're falling in love more and more every day? If this describes you, you're in the right place. So let's take a look at our person selling high-ticket training to coaches as another example. What would some of the answers look like coming from the audience? Well, they may include things like a steady flow of qualified leads wanting my help, converting a high percentage of prospects into paying clients, attracting clients who value my services and paying my fee isn't an issue. So their marketing message may look something like this. Imagine getting a steady flow of qualified leads for your coaching business and converting a high percentage of them into paying clients. Clients who value you and your training and have no issue coming up with the money to pay your fee. Again, the point here is you can see how we weave the feedback that you get into the messaging, and it instantly galvanizes your target market because you're speaking their language. It's very, very powerful. And remember, the only way that you can find out the language is by asking them. So let's move on to the sixth and final question. What's the single biggest question you have when it comes to blank? Now, this question causes them to identify the highest value information for them, because they feel the answer to this question will give them the greatest traction moving forward. So for example, let's take a look at a dog trainer. You ask your customers, people on your list, what's the single biggest question you have when it comes to training your dog? They say, how do I guarantee that my dog will never attack another dog? Or what's the best way to train my dog to sit and stay? Or how do I potty train my puppy so he never goes into the house? Or what's the best food for me to feed my dog? Now you can use this input. Not only do you know what's on their mind, but you can actually use these questions and turn them into powerful articles and blog entries or videos. Based on this list, for example, one of your videos or blog entries might be how to guarantee your dog never attacks another dog. Or another video might be the best food to feed your dog and what you should never feed them. Now that's going to cause interest, and it's going to cause your audience to pay attention if those are the questions that they have running in the back of their mind. It's almost like you become psychic because you're asking and answering the questions that your market has. So going back to our training program for coaches, we can ask the question, what's the single biggest question you have when it comes to selling a $10,000 a day coaching program? So some of the answers may include, how do you get people interested in your coaching? How do you get someone to pay that much? How do you create value in your coaching? What do I need to deliver in order to charge that much? Now, in creating some marketing material to help sell a specific program, so I'm going to answer this and create some marketing material that would be used to, say, sell a specific training program, as opposed to using all of those as headlines for blog or video ideas. So, so you can do both things. You can use it as specific articles or blogs or videos, or you can incorporate this information into your marketing message if you're trying to promote or sell one of your products or services. So in this example, I'm going to use it to put into the marketing message to sell the training program. And it would go something like this. Take your coaching business to the next level when you connect with prospects using a simple text message strategy. This 9-word text message has generated 6 figures of business for numerous coaches and generally gets responses in 5 minutes or less. Once connected, take your prospect through a consultation meeting with one of the 2 proven scripts that guide your prospect to the conclusion they need to work with you. Your price will never be an issue when you follow the simple product and service stacking strategy that makes your client feel like they're getting a deal when they pay full price. The bottom line, by reframing the answers to these 6 questions and using them in your marketing message, you'll create a connection between you and your prospect. Again, if you haven't done so already, download the handout that goes along with the video of the 6 key questions that you need to ask. There's a place to enter the answers that you have received from your target audience and a spot for you to create the message specific to their answers. Now, if you haven't downloaded the document yet, go ahead, do so. Start creating your marketing message based on the answers from your ideal target audience. So go ahead, download the exercise, read it through carefully, and make sure you understand the questions, the answers, and how to turn them into marketing messages. So go ahead, do that, and I'll see you in the next video.